So today we're going to see together the CXN BUS system that here we are is a true wire no polarized communication bus which allows you to connect all the compatible CAME devices. So in this case we are talking about a true wire communication bus, but that you can use only with CAME devices. And in the second slide we will see what type of devices we can connect. This connection can be performed on the yellow terminal that you can find on the control panel, and you can do a chain connection, a star connection, or a mixed connection. One thing, all these devices that you will connect inside will have 4 dip switches. These dip switches will allow you to set the address. In this way, it will be possible to set a specific address for each single device that you're gonna use. And we will see that this will allow you to bring more upgrades regarding the type of selectors, photocell, flashing lamp, and input-output interface that you can use. In fact, as devices, the maximum number of devices that you can use is 7 selectors, 8 couples of photocell, 2 input-output interface, and 2 flashing lamp, all together connected to the control board. The connection, as we were seeing, can be performed in different ways. The maximum length from the control board to the last element, the last device that you're gonna use, is maximum 50 meters, but the total length of all the branches that you can use is maximum 150 meters. The cable, normal cable, you don't need it to have it twisted or shielded, and you can use this type of cable, so off-road 2x1 millimeter cable. And this can be also looked into the documentation. So as always at docs.came.com, you can find all the materials and documentation for all the CAME products. So on the yellow terminal, I can connect all these different devices together. Now we're gonna do a little overview and we're gonna see all these different type of devices that we have starting from the selector. So on the terminal, you can connect up to 7 different selectors. On the same terminal, I could have 3 keypads, 2 transponder, and 2 key selector, and 1 Bluetooth selector. Because thanks to the bus technology, I don't need any more 800 or R700 for using keypad and transponder, but the CXN bus will codify the type of selector that I'm gonna use. By setting the address, I can increase the possibility to have up to 7 selectors on the same line, and this selector can be of different type. So not like in the old days that it was mandatory to have or maximum 4 keypads or maximum 4 transponder. In this way, the technician can increase the number and can mix the different type of technology on the selector. Starting, for example, with the Bluetooth one that you see now. There was a question. Yes, exactly. Only true wire connection, no polarized. So it means that you don't have a plus or minus terminal, but basically you connect the wires and then you can go and perform all the different type of connection that we already saw. For example, also with the Bluetooth one, so clearly you will have 2 cable for giving the power supply via bus and 2 cable for command, in this case, the relay that you're gonna use. You have 3 different models of Bluetooth selector available in 15, 50, and 250 users that can use the app automation BT and selector. In fact, as you see, there are different terms in size because each user that want to command the automation via Bluetooth and so via the Bluetooth selector, he can download the app called Automation BT app that is available on iOS or Android store. So if you want to use this type of selector, remember to download the app and use it for this type of selector or for the Wi-Fi gateway that can be also switched to the Bluetooth mode. This is an interface of the app. So For example, if I connect to the Bluetooth selector, what you're gonna see, these are all the different type of action. So for example, the open command, the close command, the partial open, the step by step, the sequential, and the B1, B2 output. Clearly, as you can see, I can flag or deflag the button that I want to see into the main interface. That is this one, where we have the main cycle to command, for example, the opening in this case. And here we have the free button that we choose to display into our main page. When you see this camera logo, is just to do and to set a photo as a background. And into the settings of the app, as always, you can manage, for example, the range of the Bluetooth selector. You can send the pin code, for example, to another user to enable the other user to download the app Automation BT and use the same selector. For example, I have a main entrance on a building. I use the Bluetooth selector. I am the administrator and I want to share to each user of the building the possibility to open via Bluetooth. I can do it by basically send, as you can see, a user code. Clearly, the user will download the app Automation BT and connect via Bluetooth to the selector. Or I have different type of transponder that I can connect, for example, the Mayfair or the Manchester. You can see. Pay attention to one thing. Depending on the type of selector that I have, on the catalog, you can see that we have two different type of badge. There is the badge, as you can see right now, for the Mayfair selector, that is black and blue. The one instead for the Manchester protocol, so the Manchester transponder selector, it will be white and blue. So pay attention to this because it's really important. But how to connect the different selector that I have? So let's see two different situations. Start K, I have the new selector and I am connecting it to the CXN bus terminal. Okay, if you do this operation, what you need is clearly connect the selector to the terminal and then use the deep switches. So as you can see here, for setting up the address. For example, first selector, second selector, third selector, 4, up to 7. As you can see, the 4 deep switches is enabled only in the last situation. The 4 deep switch is used for the backlight. So if I want the blue square, the green feedback when, for example, the badge or the user code is correct, or the red feedback when the user code or, for example, the keypad code is wrong. So, summing up, I need to connect the new selector to a control board via bus terminal, I connect it, and then I set the address. This gives me the possibility to have different type of selector, because basically I can have the first keypad, second transponder, third Bluetooth selector, up to 7. In this way, it will be possible to connect all the different devices. But we have another situation. So I have a whole control panel, a whole control board with R700 or 800, and I need to connect the new selector, the new bus selector. Basically, what you do is you take off clearly the selector, you connect always to S1 GND terminal, and you leave all the deep switches in off. In this way, you don't set any address. Also, in this case, the fourth deep switch is only to give the backlight to the selector or to give the possibility to receive a feedback. Okay, so in this way, I will say that all the selector, for example, transponder and keypad, are 100% compatible with old control boards and new control board. If it is new, I set the address. If it is old, basically I leave all the deep switches in off as default. This is for the Mayfair selector, Manchester selector, but also keypad selector. It's all the same on all the different type of selector that I'm gonna use. Clearly, also for the key selector is more similar to the Bluetooth one, because I will have two wire to give the power supply via bus and two wire to command the relay We have two available models depending on the type of key that you prefer to use. We have the wall-mounted or flush-mounted installation, and also here we can receive a feedback. So, for example, what happened with the old key selectors? I was in the middle of the street, I'm trying to open with the key selector, and I can't hear nothing. I can't hear if I have moved it correctly, if the automation is going. So what we added, basically, when you will perform a command, so you insert the key and you turn the key, the selector will basically, as you can see, this blue ring, it will color of green. This means that, okay, you have correctly turned the key and the command is being executed. So as you can see, the selector lights up green. Another thing is that we will see we can also install the flashing lamp and set some particular color. For example, the color for the maintenance. So I can set a number of maneuvers. When the automation reach that number of maneuvers, it enables the maintenance mode. So, okay, I want to display this maintenance. How can I do it? I set a color that can be red, can be green, can be RGB via app or via control board. And when the automation will reach that number, of maneuvers, the ring will color basically on the color that I have chosen. Okay, so in this case, this ring or this type of ring will color, and the customer will see a different type of light. Pay attention and remember this maintenance color, because we will see that also if you are using the flashing lamp, also the flashing lamp will take the maintenance color that I can choose, but we will see it in some minutes. So this is regarding the selectors. Very, very easy to install. Remember that if it is a new control board, I enable the deep switches to set the address. If it is an old control board, I leave all the deep switches in off. This will give me the 100% compatibility with new and old control board. Photocell. In this case, the photocell via bus can be used only on control panel that have the bus terminal. So we have the traditional model for all the control panel that doesn't have the bus system, and we have the bus photocell. They are called DLX, the first one, the non-orientable one that you can see as a square, and the DXR. These one are orientable, so it can help me during, as you can see, adjustable infrared beam. For example, when I have a particular column and I'm gonna install the photocell. So as you know, for example, if I am using the traditional couple of photocell, I need to use the safety terminal as 2, 6, and also the terminal of synchronization. But if I am using the bus system, as you can see, what I'm gonna do is an enter and exit on all the different devices, for example, transmitter and receiver, and basically I will set the address via deep switch. So as you can see, I do a little zoom. First transmitters, first receiver, same address. Second, same address. Third, same address. Up to 8 different couples of photocell. This brings two advantages. First of all, I use only 2 wires, so I don't need any more desynchronization. It's done by the deep switches. Second, if a couple of photocell that I am using as a trouble, for example, an obstacle detection, the control board will advise me and tell me, pay attention, number 4 of photocell via bus is not working. So I exactly know which couple of photocell is in trouble, is finding something. This basically will allow me to save more time, and I already know which couple of photocell have this problem. I saw a question. Clearly, you can use DLX and XR together. It's not any problem. In the same way, you can use bus photocell and traditional photocell together. Okay, so it's up to you what you prefer to use. Via bus, traditional, mix of them, you can do it. Another question, the orientable one are only the DXR. So this one that you see, the square one called the helix are not orientable. So you have to pay attention when you have maybe some particular columns of installation to use the DXR. Yeah, also for the DLX, the connection is the same. So instead of having this, you will have this one and you will always set the others in this way. Up to 8 cables of phone. Exactly. Okay, so we can move on to the bus interface. So you can manage also two additional bus interface. There are nothing more than two inputs and two outputs on this interface here. The power supply is given directly via bus. So as you can see, I can arrive with two wires and I can manage the inputs or outputs. For example, as a NO, NC or resistive contact for having commands or safety edge that are resistive. Or I can set also for example, to have it for an external LED, for an external light. I saw another question exactly. You know that in some control board of Kame there is the B1, B2 output. This B1, B2 output is a second radio output. It can be used sometimes by the customer that want, for example, to use a button of the transmitter to enable a light, to open via electric lock another automation. This, if you don't have the B1, B2 output, for example, on the ZLX 24M, but you have the bus possibility, you can avoid the B1, B2 by using this interface. Exactly. It can be used as a command, and basically you can use it also for the release. So in this way, you can use garage lights, you can maybe enable an electric lock by using only two wires. This allows you to connect two of them. So, for example, you can easily command a pedestrian lock in the back of the house or a B1, B2 output option that maybe you didn't add on the control board. And now we arrive to the MVP, personally, for me, to the bus devices. So, the bus flashing lamp. By the way, all the bus devices that you see have a blue gasket. This allows you to recognize it from a traditional one, because, for example, the KRX exists also in traditional way. And the DLX, the DXR, the photocell, also that exists in a traditional way. But with a blue gasket, you can recognize that this type of device is via bus. So inside we will have a bus CXN terminal, we'll have a double frequency antenna integrated, a slot for the F card, and now we're gonna see, a slot for the Kame key or Kame Connect gateway, and it's RGB. I can set different colors. So, if I want, I can install an AF card on top of the flashing lamp. So usually what happens? I install the AF card inside the control panel, then I close the control panel, then there is the metallic box maybe that closes again this control the control panel or the automation. And in this case, the transmitter range, it reduces a lot. But if we think about the flash lamp, usually they are installed on top of the column. So in this way, if I install the AF card on the terminal inside the flashing lamp that is on top of the column, the range will increase and I will avoid this trouble. Second, if you look at it, I can install an AF 433 MHz inside the control board, an AF 868 on the flashing lamp, and via top transmitter, the new transmitters of Kame, I can have one button in 433 and one button in X68. In this way, I can give to the customer the double frequency possibility. So one button, the first, for example, 433, if you are having trouble with the range, with the frequency, you can switch to the second button that is 868, a more empty frequency. Same logic is for the Kame Connect devices. For a range increase, you can install the gateway or the Kame key directly inside the flashing lamp. And by the way, there is a flashing lamp with the code, as you can see, 806LA0070. That is a CXN BUS flashing lamp with the gateway already installed inside. Then, as final feature, last but not least, you can set the colors. So as I was telling you, I can set opening, for example, color. So during the opening phase, green color. During the closing phase, red color. And I can also assign a color to the maintenance mode. So as I was saying you, not only the selector will color, but also the flashing lamp. I can set different colors, for example, purple, and the customer will call me and say, hey, why my CXN BUS, or for example, why my flashing lamp is purple? And you already know, well, I have to do maintenance. Okay. If you want, you can set it. If not, don't worry, it's not mandatory. Last feature, and then we have finished this webinar regarding the CXN BUS, and we're going to see if there are any questions or doubts. As I was telling you, setting the address on all these different devices. By the way, sorry, you can install two flashing lamps together. This means that you can have a sort of semaphoric light if you want. Okay. As I was telling you, the improvements is not only regarding the number of selectors and photocells that I can install that has been increased. By setting the address, I will have the possibility to check if every single device that I am using is working or not. By using the function H4 on the 7-segment control board, or bus device status on the graphic display control board, we can manage and see if the bus photocell number from 1 to 8, depending on the address that you set, is okay, not communicating, if there is a safety device active or a bus address conflict. So for example, I set the same address on 3 couples of photocell, or the wrong address between receiver and transmitter. Safety device active, it means that you see an obstacle. Not communicating, maybe you had not done the same and good connection. Okay, it's all perfect. The same for all the different devices. This means that the technician, by checking on the control board this function, can already know if a device is working or not. Clearly, I can do the same from remote by using Kame Connect via app setup or via platform. So in this way, before doing the maintenance, before arriving to the customer, I already know what is needing. So, as always, I hope that you have found useful this short webinar. As I was telling you, it was only half an hour because the CXN BUS is a short topic, but I don't know if you have any question or if I skipped some question. Now I'm gonna open the chat and see, but I think it's all okay. Yes, the presentation is already uploaded. You can find it here. Okay, so you go on my calendar, you set the Friday. Okay, now it's loading, hopefully. And you search for this date. So here we are, 31. You open and you find on the bottom the presentation that by clicking here you can download, as you can see. Okay, so here we are, the one that we already saw now. So, as always, thank you so much for your time and for being here with the Kame Training team. I hope that has been a useful webinar. And if you have any information, I stay here into the chat, or if you want, you can write to me at esponacasarkame.com. As always, thank you so much. And now I'm going to stop the record.